So moving on to our next game, it's called Red Flags. We're gonna give you three situations, and in each of the situations, there are two grade points and one red flag. We've adapted these situations for Spirit and yourself, and then you have to choose which situation you would rather be in.
Cool.
So situation one, Spirit is reaching close to 10 million monthly active users. Spirit experienced rapid revenue growth, tripling its annual earnings within the next 2 years. But there has been increased employee burnout within Spirit. Situation two, you have a compelling offer for acquisition. You have expanded to multiple different digital assets, but Spirit has not been able to raise another round of funding. Situation three, Spirit has identified a significant international market for their product and is poised to capitalize on this opportunity. You now have a team of 50 people, but expanding internationally has brought complex regulatory hurdles.
Okay, definitely
So,
another third point. uh, I would definitely go with the first point any day.
Yeah.
The first situation, sorry, which is 10 million monthly active users, because that by itself puts you up on an international standard like no other.
yeah.
Rapid revenue growth, tripling annual earnings, biggest green flag in this market for any company, not fintech, even more.
Even more.
Yeah, and that to B2C fintech means it's the top funnel.
Yeah.
Within the next, okay, that's interesting. See, employee burnout you can deal with.
Yeah.
Like dealing, you can't like pressure and be like,
Yeah.
take off, come back. No, but there are certain ways of going. Like I feel out of all of this would not hamper the company vision.
Yeah.
Your name in the market. I mean, people would still want to be a part of you because they're like, hey, this company is going to be making money. Since that's point number two. That's also very. So employee burnout is a very vast or very broad term. Like if you talk about employee culture, that's okay. You like 10 think of situation one way differently. But if you're like just burnout, there are like go for a really long 2-week break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And literally that motive, like at Centrum, I remember, I don't like make this too long, but I remember if you did certain targets and you needed really hard to push for these targets, they will give like free trips to Dubai. I'm like, Centrum? Centrum is doing that. Wow. And literally like, okay, you get M1 back then, like M1 MacBook Pro. And I'm like, dude, that's fun. Like, I would want to work for this for sure. And you use all the resources, contacts, push it out. And that works. Like you're stressed out of your head. You're like, I cannot do this, but you just do it for that thing what you always dreamt of having.
Yeah.
You just gotta figure for every employee, every sector, where the employee is working, what's the thing they wanna do or dream of. Like I know this one company, a very, very close friend runs it. It's another startup that's raised a bunch of funds. He essentially has employees who've never traveled within India also, who've never stayed at probably a 5-star property. Some like certain like these kind of things actually helps you not like the employee wants to stick around longer.
Yeah.
Right. And I think there's a lot of people in the world and a lot of employees who are happy to work harder to be rewarded accordingly. Like they have like, that like
Absolutely.
Especially we as Indians, we've been like brought up as kind of like hustlers. We all have an insane amount of work energy and ethic. And like we've had this with a lot of people telling us at the office that like when we tell them, hey, like, it's been a tough week, why don't you take it easy next week? They're like, no, we're fine. Like, it's not been a tough week. And they just want to be rewarded accordingly. And that's easily good enough for them.
Yeah, like, I feel the whole, like, if you're, example, into the consultancy space, okay, not management consultancy, mainly strategic consultancy, the kind of perks you end up getting is you can't fathom it. And like, I just read some article a couple of days ago. The founder of Citadel, one of the largest, most successful hedge fund in the world, and I would love to meet this guy if I ever could, Ken Griffin. he just sponsored some 12 or 2,300 or 1,200 families within Citadel's like family employees and the entire family. Flew them all to Tokyo, to Disneyland for like 4 days. And on his personal tab, like not on Citadel's tab. So that's where people go to that height to actually take care of the employees, and people understand like to counter that third point is very important.
Yeah.
And it's important. I think the discrepancy is when they are working hard but they're not rewarded enough. That's where like the burnout really matters.
Yeah.
So it's like balancing both of that to find like the method for this to like be solved or for it to work.
It's a mental thing. Like burnout is a mental thing. So as long as you're not like if you're being rewarded, you have the
and you
happy
need to
part
understand
of it.
like everyone is going to be burnt out. It's not like you'll work for 1 year and leave. No, you are going to burn out. So you have to have a strategy to figure. So yeah.